today I thought we could go somewhere quite interesting, and it's basically like an old historic house with a really beautiful chapel in it, and there's also an exhibition on, and it's like an art exhibition about Japanese ghost lore and like fairy tales, which is interesting because I was just reading this book and it's all about Japanese tree folklore and about like spirits that inhabit trees and like tales of the cherry blossom trees and that kind of thing. So it felt like really oddly timed because I was literally just reading this and then I saw that this exhibition was on. So I don't know what it's going to be like, but I thought we could go and check it out and see the house and stuff as well. I think it used to be like a theological college, or like maybe monks lived there or something. I can't remember. I went ages ago, but I remember the chapel was really beautiful as well. And yeah, hopefully you'll learn something more about the Japanese fairy tales.
Yusho began life in 1808, built by English Catholics who had spent years on the margins. Their original seminary in France had been forced to close during the French Revolution, so they came home to build something new. And what they created was a place where education and worship could thrive openly. The chapels are at the heart of that story. The first was simple, built when the college first opened, but as Yusho grew, so did its craftsmanship. The most beautiful of these spaces is St. Cuthbert's Chapel, completed in 1847. It was designed in the Gothic Revival style and is truly so stunning and detailed to see. Inside, tall stained glass windows flood the space with colour, weaving biblical stories. For generations of trainee priests, this was the centre of their world. In the late 19th century, hundreds of students lived, learned and worshipped here, but eventually the college closed in 2011 as the number of trainee priests declined. But instead, Yusho has found a second life. Its chapels are now open to everyone, concerts are held and exhibitions are displayed in its rooms.
So the exhibition was actually super interesting and joined a lot of the dots for things that I'd been reading about but hadn't quite sort of pieced together yet, because there's so much written record in Japanese about their mythology and things, but it doesn't often get translated. So I've been trying to track down different bits of information, and basically this guy who the exhibition was about, he lived such a fascinating life. It was pretty clear that he loved travel and different cultures and stuff. He was born in Greece, raised in Ireland, went to college at that place, which is in England. He married somebody who was Creole, which wasn't allowed at the time because she was an ex-slave. He then went on to move to Japan. He bought a one-way ticket and he basically ended up marrying this Japanese woman, like fully integrated into the culture, loved it there, had like a Japanese name, Buddhist burial, all that. And he was one of the first people, or maybe the first person, to write a lot of the myths or folk tales and fairy tales and things down in English, and also to really try and understand Shinto as a Westerner, which is like a spirituality of Japan. It's kind of like animistic, so everything has like spirits and life forces and that kind of thing. So I find it really interesting anyway. But yeah, he was actually the guy who first wrote in English some of the stories that were in this book. And like all folk tales, like they're always a bit weird sometimes. The one that I was just reading, it's about a cherry tree. It's quite sad, but it's basically like this old man. There was a temple with like a big old cherry tree there, and this old man went and started a tea house right by it. And because of like the presence of the cherry tree, this like beautiful cherry tree, the tea house flourished and got so many visitors and did really well, and all was going well for ages, until the samurai came along. And apparently in that culture, you had to basically do what a samurai said. Like they could ask for anything and you just had to do it. And so this guy was like, give me a branch off that cherry tree. I want to give it to a geisha, like give me that branch. And this guy was like, no, I can't. It's like a sacred tree. It's, you know, I owe my success in the tea house to this. And then it kind of got violent from there. The samurai ends up, he stabs him lightly to like get him away, this old man. But then the old man says like, take my life instead, don't harm the tree. So he's really angry. He cuts the branch off the tree and then he kills the old man. It's really depressing. And then his wife, the old man's wife, ends up hanging herself on this cherry tree. The cherry tree like dies, shrivels up. But then there are stories about like ghosts being seen around the tree at midnight. So this samurai like can't let it go, and he's like, I'm gonna go and see these ghosts and see what it's all about. And his dad is like, don't go. But he went anyway. So he gets there at midnight, and the tree is in full blossom. It is absolutely beautiful, like the day he first saw it. And he gets so angry at this, and he's hacking the tree, hacking, and then he hears a cry. It's pitch black, it's the night. And actually his father had followed him all the way to try to stop him or protect him, because he thought there was going to be ghosts and spirits and things, and he had accidentally killed his father. So then he's like so regretful, and he basically disembowels himself, and that's the end of the story. And then every night at midnight the tree comes into full blossom and that kind of thing. So that's like a pretty, like, it sounds like a kind of shocking story to maybe our ears, and I think a lot of folktales are like this. Like the more I dive into folktales, not just from Japan but like everywhere in the world, even in like the UK and Ireland and stuff, they always seem to be quite like, whoa, like shocking, but a lot of them are there to sort of teach lessons. So the lesson is partly about the samurai who obviously was just so demanding of this thing that he wanted, and he would stop at nothing to get it. But then there's also actually an element of the old man with the tea house where you shouldn't just do something for your own gain. Like he knew the cherry tree was making him successful, and that sort of thing. So a bit of a dual thing there, I think. Anyway, I don't know if that was interesting in the slightest, but that was one of the stories, and basically they had like a bunch of artists do responses to the stories that this guy recorded. So yeah, that was one of them, and this little book's full of them, and yeah, it's really interesting. Folklore is weird. It is so weird all the time. Sometimes I read stuff and I'm just shaking my head like, seriously? But I try and interpret it as best I can. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting, and that was the exhibition. sorry about the crazy lighting. I've tried going everywhere and there's nowhere for me to get out of these squares. So I just had quite a successful little charity shop jaunt. It's always really hit and miss with a charity shop, like sometimes it's just horrendous. But I actually found a few quite cute things, so I'll just show you. First thing I got was this purple skirt. I really like the colour, it's very dark purple. And it's got this like pattern on it, elasticated waist, and it's quite a good length, I think. And it's quite a good shape. I like this, it's not too tight but it's not too flouncy. So I'm quite pleased with that. It'll be quite a good basic, I think. It was £4, which I think is expensive for the charity shop. But I think they're all getting really expensive now. Because quite a few other things were like expensive as well. So yeah, £4. You can't really complain too much, but yeah, a bit expensive for a charity shop. Then I got this, which again was £4. It's just like a navy blue. It's kind of like a jumper top type thing with a bit of lace on it. I'm just trying to get stuff with long sleeves that's also quite kind of basic-ish and like nice dark colours. So that's what I found. I also got something really basic, and this is more reasonable. It was £1, which I think is fair. And it's literally just a long sleeve cotton top with a little bit of a turtleneck. It's really, really soft, and I think it'll be good for layering and just wear it under stuff now that the seasons are getting a bit colder. And then the final item of clothing I got was this green jumper. So it's like a nice dark green, and it's 100% merino wool, so it's going to be really warm and toasty, and yeah, just nice natural material, and it's not itchy as well. Like I find wool, like all types of wool, usually really itchy, but I think this one's quite good. It's £5, which yeah is expensive, but I thought for wool that's fine. So this is what I got there. And then I just got some books and a DVD. So I've been trying to buy stuff that is like physical media for films and stuff, because now that they've changed all the streaming platforms to have adverts on, that just like rubs me the wrong way so much. I'm like, I'm paying for this streaming service, I'm paying for adverts. Like, no way, like no, it's not acceptable. I'm not going to pay more to get rid of them. I'm just going to buy DVDs and stuff, and then I don't have to contribute to these platforms. So I've cancelled like all my subscriptions basically, and I'm just trying to buy DVDs. Anyway, this book I got for £1. So I've been going on a little classics run at the minute, so I'm just picking up nice classics when I see them. This is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. A troubling story of crime, sin, guilt, punishment, set in the rigid moral climate of 17th century New England. The young mother of an illegitimate child confronts her Puritan judges. But yeah, I've heard that it's good, so we shall see. Then another one which is recommended, I feel like a lot of people talk about it, and I saw the film, is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and it says, ancient beautiful Manderley between the rose garden and the sea is the county's showpiece. Rebecca made it so even a year after her death. Rebecca's influence still rules there. How can Maxime de Winter's shining bride ever fill her place or escape her vital shadow? Now, I can't actually remember what happens in the film, which is probably good, so I can read this like fresh. I literally have no clue. I remember really liking it, but then it's just gone out of my head. So anyway, I got this. So we'll read that at some point. And then Rogue DVD is Van Helsing. We love Van Helsing in this household. Like, I love everything vampire anyway, but then just the whole vibe of this, and like Hugh Jackman and like all the vampire babes and stuff, like, yeah, I love this so much. And it was 50p, so I thought, well, you can't say no to it for 50p, can you? So anyway, that's my little mini charity shop haul, which I think was actually quite successful because I wasn't really sure what I was going to find. Yeah, so it all went well. So I'm about to make something that I'm a little bit apprehensive about, but everybody's told me that it is nice and it's fine. And it's a little bit of like a cold preventative remedy type thing. And the idea is if you feel a little tickle in your throat or you feel like a cold coming on, you should have some of this, or just have it throughout the colder months as like a preventative measure. And it's honey garlic, but I'm actually going to take it a step further and add in ginger, turmeric and black pepper. And basically I'm just going to put it all in a jar and let it kind of ferment and just sit there. And many people tell me that it's not like just chewing on some raw garlic when it's ready. It's like blended in with the honey, you can't really taste any of it. Obviously garlic is incredibly good for you, and so is turmeric and ginger. Sorry, that's the dishwasher. And black pepper as well really helps absorption of turmeric. So that's what we're going to do. I've got some 100% raw wildflower honey that I got from the farm shop. I've got my empty jar, and then I've got ginger, lots of garlic, and then I found, just in Tesco, turmeric root. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop it all up and then basically just put it in this jar, cover it with honey, and then just leave it and just let it do its thing. And then, yeah, if I'm feeling a bit run down or whatever, just have a spoon here and there, just as a little boost. So I'm trusting the process that it's not going to be completely inedible, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, this is my jar. In hindsight, I think I did way too much, because I think you're supposed to have like quite a bit of honey above all of this, and it seems to like the honey's like sinking to the bottom and this is like floating to the top. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I've given it a really good mix to get out any air bubbles and that sort of thing, and honey's covering everything, so I think we should be good. But I'm just gonna put this basically in the cupboard, and then I'll check on it every day, just make sure it's all fine and it's, you know, yeah, it's all going well. So that's the finished product. Apparently you should leave it for like a month and then start using it. So I will report back when I've actually tried this. So we'll see how it goes. So I've just had 2 exciting deliveries which I thought I would show you. So the first one is from Ancient Earth Clothing, and it's all handmade, ethically made clothing, and she sent me some stuff and it looks so beautiful. So this is the first dress. It is this long black dress, and then on the bottom it's got these like corn spirit type things. So I think that is so autumnal and beautiful, and I like how it's just like a little nod to kind of like folky stuff. So I think this is really pretty, and I might wear it tomorrow when I go out actually. So that was the first one. And then there's this one, which is this really beautiful print. Again, very, very autumnal. It's reminding me of like the harvest time. Let me just get it the right way around. So it's like a wrap dress. So you will tie it through the waist, kind of like adjust it to the size that you want. But again, it's this like really gorgeous pattern, very autumnal, pumpkins, mushrooms, the little corn spirit, corn dolly. Yeah, really beautiful. And then she threw in a little scrunchie as well, which is so cute. And it's like, yeah, it's got like little dangly bits. So I think this would be cute as like a little half up situation. So that's really nice. And then the second thing is from a brand who I've followed for ages called Celtic Fusion. And again, this is all handmade, ethical, and this is from Ireland. So this just came in this gorgeous box. So this just came in this gorgeous big box, all wrapped up nicely, and it is this really stunning jacket. This is what it looks like. I'm a jacket person so much, so this is the vibe. It's got this lovely, beautiful pattern down it, and this knotwork, and it says pagan designs inspired by the Celtic spirit of the west of Ireland. This collection is handmade using wool, plant fibres and hand-carved details, handled with love and care. So I'm so excited to wear this. I feel like it's just gonna feel so special, and having like bits and pieces that are handmade, all ethical, lovely materials and stuff is just so nice. So I'm really excited to be wearing those.